Hi everyone and welcome to Sim Racing Revolution. I am John and today we're going to take a look at Racelab. Racelab is an overlay and layout system for iRacing, for Assetto Corsa Competizione, for F1 2020 and 2021 currently. And yeah, it's really great, very customizable. I'm going to show you guys very briefly the layout of it, how it works, and then we're going to show you what it looks like in the system that I'm going to be running in iRacing. So stick around and it'll be an interesting journey. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi everybody and welcome back. So we are here at the Racelab homepage. So I wanted to take you through the homepage and just show you what you need to do to get to it and to download the app that you're going to need to get these interfaces and overlays running for you. So right in the center of the screen, this is as soon as you get to racelab.app. I think I covered it up on the video. So let me try to get rid of that. There you go. So you can see it now. So you go to racelab.app and it will bring you up to this screen right here. So once you get to this screen, just say download Racelab and it'll download to your computer. It's a standard installation, nothing I really need to go over with you guys. So pretty straightforward. If you've installed a game, you can install this, no problem at all. Just going through the website though, you can get an idea of what you're going to look forward to. It does work for iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and for F1 2020 and 2021. Now, I have only experimented with it so far on iRacing, and I am by no means an expert. I'm just trying to get my overlay together for my race this week. And the reason I'm doing this is because all my races so far, the two that I have recorded and put out on the channel, have not been to my liking, let's say. It's just not up to a good standard. I think it needs some more information, some overlays, some things like that, so you guys can follow along with me during the race. And so that's why I decided to get a year membership of this. It costs about $45 US for 1 year membership, and it gives you all. Now you can do this for free as well, and I'll show you the differences once we get into the app. But for what I wanted to do with it, like the race map, different types of things that you can use, different widgets and things like that, you really need to get the pro version. So anyway, just looking through the website, continuing on, yeah, just to give you an idea what things look like, and we're just going to dive into it anyway. So but it's really cool. It does give you a whole lot of information to work with. And yeah, so like I said, for today's video, we're going to concentrate on iRacing because I haven't experimented at all yet in Assetto Corsa Competizione or in the F1 series at all. So, so I do have the app open. So let's take a look. And I do not have it open actually, or do I? Let me see. Yeah, we do. There it is. Okay, so this is Racelab. Let me actually get to the dashboard. This is actually what you'll see when you log in the first time. And this is my profile here for iRacing. So you can see, and this is really cool. It just pulls all this stuff in from iRacing when you log in with your account. It'll just bring all this up for you to see. And you can see my current iRatings and well, safety rating and iRating if it does have it. So the last couple races I've done in here, that this is, since I've gotten iRacing back, is these 3 advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series races that you can see, and that awesome place I got on the last race on 28 December, yay. So we finished in 3rd on that race, but this kind of just gives you an overview. There's really not much else you can do with it, other than it's just informational purposes for the most part. But it's pretty cool that it's there. Now for F1 and for ACC, they're saying it's in beta mode. And, they said that personal statistics are in development, and that's kind of the same deal with the F1 series. But in iRacing, it's all there, which is pretty sweet. It just looks nice. So, but you're not going to spend probably any time in there. So let's go over to overlays and check this out. So this is overlays. So if you just want an overlay, a couple overlays in your on your sim, you can just do this. And this is kind of nice because you can kind of move these around the screen and do whatever you want with them, which is kind of nice. And there are, as you can see here, for the font is in Pro. So if you don't have a Pro license, you will not be able to use this. This will be grayed out. You won't be able to do anything with it. There's a couple different fonts in here, and I'll go through. You can kind of see the differences in the fonts. And it's pretty nice. There's actually a separate iRacing font, which matches the iRacing font that you would see in game, which is pretty nice. Kind of keeps it all uniform as best as possible. And you can, the weight of all the different ones, you can do like a triple X bold, and I'm not sure that really did much in there. Didn't do anything, as a matter of fact. So maybe you got to switch to a different font and then switch these around. There you go. And extra bold looks really extra bold. So iRacing, I think you're pretty limited to just I think just generic. Oh, there's generic or regular, medium. Let's see if extra X bold does anything here. No, it only gets to, I think, yeah, I think it just goes from regular and medium in iRacing font. Either way, it's very cool. You can set the opacity of the background. So if you want it, super dark back there, or you want it basically see-through with no background, you can set that as well, which is very nice. You can have the driver names width go wider, shorter. You can scale this whole thing way up. Not that you'd really ever want to do that, but you can. I mean, if you just bring up the overlay for just a second, just to show people, and then get rid of it, and you can control all that with hotkeys, then you can do that too. Like I could map all the hotkeys to my Stream Deck and just hit a button and bring up an overlay and close it back down again if you just want to show it once. So in that case, you may want to scale this way up so it fills the full screen, and then get rid of it once you're done talking about it. So, very flexible as far as that goes. Hiding in the garage. So when you're in iRacing, you're in the garage. You don't want all your overlays there because you're not, you don't care. You're not concentrating on that. So you can turn all that off so you can hide it in the garage. The rendering FPS, you can set the FPS to whatever speed you want that to be at. And that's something that I need to play with still. So we're going to look at that. Let's see, back separation. So you can create like a little bit of background separation there so you can kind of see a little bit of difference. And that might work out a little better with different opacities so you can kind of see the difference there. I think that's coming through on video okay. Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there. You can do line separators along with this. Might make it a little bit easier to see as well. And maybe that works out a little better on lower opacity. So there's a lot you can play with, in other words. Widgets, there's a ton you can do. So, instead of track name up here, maybe you want ABS instead. I don't know why you'd want that, but you can. And, there's lots of different things. You can see the iRating gain that you've had during the session. Lots of different things. Your local time, oil temperatures. I mean, there is a ton of data that you can put in here with these widgets, which is really cool. There's also session time, lap time, all sorts of stuff. So you can configure the top and bottom. So what we're talking about here is this very top bar and this very bottom bar here. Now, driver info is next, and that's everything in the middle here. So you can have tons of stuff turned on here too. So I'm not going to go over everything because there's a ton, but what I want to really get across is that it's very versatile. You can do a lot with it. And yeah, basically every piece of telemetry that comes in through iRacing, you can almost display it, and maybe all of it, I don't know, but it's a lot. Here's your iRacing and SR stuff, lap times, pit info, stream info, and that's just on the relative. So now we go down to standings, and there's a whole ton of other information. You see where I'm going with this. There's a horizontal one as well, so you can kind of see, kind of how that works as well. If it's scrolling like it's doing right now, you can have that on too. So, that's really awesome too. So if you don't want it step by step and you just want continuous scrolling, you can have it do that, which is really cool. Yeah, it's just, there's so much to do with it. it's just it just blows me away at the amount. And you can also set these up for streaming as well. So it would set a browser URL, and you can get to that URL, say on your cell phone, on your tablet, on a third screen, on your streaming computer, and just bring that up and have it in OBS as a stream, or just as a stream thing to add into your live stream. So that's very cool too. Or just to stream the info to another device, which is awesome. So lots of versatility there. There's a fuel calculator, which is actually very, very powerful. It's very cool. It gives you tons of information. There's a bar that you can bring up here. Now, also, I just want to make sure also that I mention that Racelab does also have a YouTube channel with tons of great videos where they go over a lot of these things. And, it's a full video, basically tutorials on what these things do, how to set them up, and, like just basically how to use them while you're driving, and what kind of benefits it can give you. So I highly suggest you guys go out to Racelab on YouTube and check out all their videos, because I watched a bunch of them and it really brought a lot more to the table as far as what these things mean, what it does, and how you can use them in game. It's really, really great. And one of the videos is about the fuel calculator and the pit status and all that. It gives you a lot of information about what that means. I'm not going to rehash it all here, but I really suggest you do that. I'll link it to the description below so you guys can easily find it. But I could go here all day, and I don't want to, because this video would go way too long. But the bottom line here is there's a lot of great information here. Here's a track map. I mean, it's just so cool. And there's your guy right there is the highlighted one. And of course you can, make this, tailor it to exactly how you want it. You can make your car some different colors, the border and the car color, and all sorts of stuff. You can just mess with it all you want. Now here's as we go down the list here, the next one is layouts, and layouts is what I'm going to show you live in iRacing today. Layouts it's just pretty awesome. So I'm just going to show you. I have a couple that I've been dabbling with. The really cool thing is if you make one that you kind of like, but you don't really want to go messing with it anymore because you might screw it up, you can create a copy of it, which is cool. And this is what I've done here. You can enable or disable any of these at any time, which is also nice. And as you can see on this top one, if I go into edit, you can see that you can tailor it to the different categories, different series, different cars that you're currently racing in iRacing. So you can tailor it to do that. It'll auto open that particular overlay when it detects that you're in that series with that car and you're doing a race. So it's pretty sweet. That is pretty awesome. So I do have that currently disabled because I wanted to show you guys what I currently have. And so this is the one that's currently enabled. It's actually currently open right now as well. And I have it set to auto open. So as soon as I launch Racelab, it's going to auto open this particular layout that I have. And if you go into the layout, you can see kind of what I was going for here. So there's a lot on this display, a lot of the stuff you guys already saw. One of the really cool things that I was kind of happy about too is this input telemetry. As you can see, my steering wheel here is the exact steering wheel that's on here. And if I go into the properties of this, it'll show you a lot better. So here's my actual steering wheel. Now this is just going through a demo right now of what this looks like. But what we're tracking here is your steering input is the white line, your throttle is green, your brake is red. I have the clutch turned off because I don't use it. But basically, and then you can set your the Porsche Fanatic wheel is the wheel type. So that's in the Pro version. So, and of course you can upload your own custom wheel type. So if you want to take a picture of it, cut out the background, make it a PNG or something like that, you can upload it and have your picture of your actual wheel in here displayed. I mean, just how cool is that? That's really cool. So, yeah. It's the little details, and this is getting updated. I also want to say too that this app is being updated constantly, so they're constantly, uh, chasing bugs, getting rid of bugs, making it a little bit smoother experience. So it's it's all good. So this is basically what my interface looks like. Now you can position these anywhere around that you want. The only thing you can't do is once the sim is running, you can't really, I mean, you can still manipulate things in your layout, but it's just not as easy as just having a regular overlay that you can just kind of grab and move around if you want to. So these are pretty much locked all the time in the layout. Once you set it up, you're kind of stuck with it. But of course you can tweak it, any which way you want, but while you're racing, you can't go moving stuff around. So no big deal, but just, that's just what how it is. Now, if we go over to this side over here where, I have kind of the properties of this, I have it set to the resolution of the screen that I'm displaying. So this is a 4K display, and I have it set to 3840 by 2160. That is the display. That is not what I'm running iRacing at, but that is what the display is. Because you got to remember, these are layouts and overlays, and it's going to overlay over the default resolution of what your display is running at. So it's not really the same as what the game is, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But just so you know, that is your display resolution. So you'll have to maybe blow up some of these overlays and things like that to make so you can see them a little bit better when you're in the sim. Because if you're running the sim at a lower resolution and it's expanding on your screen, everything's bigger in there. And if your overlays are really small, it's going to look pretty crappy and it's really going to be unuseful. So what I had to do is go in and say for this input telemetry, I have it scaled up to 35. And I, just had to mess with a few other things as well. But just so you know, this is what you might have to do. And even though it says kilometers per hour on there also, that's just a demo. So it'll be miles per hour because I'm in the US and that's what I'm used to. But that's what it'll be once you're in the game. It'll take those iRacing settings that you set. Okay. So, yeah, another thing about this over here too I wanted to mention is that you can make this session specific, so you can have separate overlays based on what session that you're in, so you can modify it based on that. So say you want to do this for just practice or for testing or for qualifying or for racing, you can set up different ones for each specific thing. Now I didn't do that, so mine is just set up for all the time. This is what I'm going to get. And that's only because I didn't take the time to do it yet. I've just been experimenting between yesterday and this morning. I've been messing with it and trying to get it to a point where I can really show you guys what this thing is doing. And so I can do my race this week and give you some useful information. And that's what I wanted to go over right now. So, so let's see, we have layouts, we have series, and you can see this is just basically the iRacing series stuff. It's just going through all that. Streaming, so you can set overlays for streaming like this right here. So you can do, the garage cover, you can do chat, highlights, all sorts of cool stuff that you can do and have that go over on your stream. So that's very nice. Membership. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you too. Free, you have access to basic overlays, and you guys have kind of seen that. Anything with that little diamond, blue diamond over a setting or over a overlay, you're not going to have access to unless you get the pro version, which I did. And really, the $39.90 per year euro price equals about $45-46 US. I think it's a really good deal for what you're getting, because there's really nothing else like this that you're going to pay this little and get so much functionality out of. And I really like the way they tailored the overlays and the fonts and the colors and everything is just cool. It's very customizable. I have a support section, and they do have some settings here, and there are VR settings as well. So anything that you set up, you can click a VR button and have that overlay work. It's basically tailored then to work a little bit better in VR for you. So that's really cool. Let's see, what else do I got to cover here? App stuff. Now here is the key and button bindings. I really wanted to cover this. So I do not have this set up yet, and I haven't done a whole lot with this yet. But what I did want to show you is it's possible you can reset the bindings, and just put them to be whatever you want, and then be able to put them in your Elgato, Stream Deck, or whatever you're using, your button box, and be able to just activate, deactivate things as you want. You can even map those to your steering wheel buttons, whatever, however you want to do it, or a keyboard shortcut like they have there. Just leave it that way and do that. But it's very customizable, so you can bring up overlays, do whatever you like with it. Like I said, this is a quick overview. I'm not going to get too much in depth here, but I really wanted to try to cover as much as I can. You know, there's friends, there's streaming stuff. You can add your Twitch channel name and access token. I think currently all they're supporting right now is Twitch, but of course you can, you know, do all this with OBS, and that's how I'm recording this today. So let's see what else. I think that's about all I wanted to really cover in the app right now. It's up to 1.15.14. I think since I've had it for like a week, it's gone up 2 or 3 different versions since then. So like I said, they're chasing bugs, they're adding to it. Now the certain things like the overlays, if you look at the, you know, the track maps and stuff like that, there's the flat map preview and the track map. And I think some of these items are, so it's still in beta. So, you know, so there may be some little issues here and there. I did notice that in a lot of these, they're a little bit like a hair behind what you do on screen. So, and you'll see that a little bit once we get into, you know, just a little bit of a test lap or two. You'll see that as I make a turn, it's lagging a little bit behind, but it really gets the job done. It does what it's supposed to do. It may not be exactly right on, but I expect it over time, this is going to get better and better and better. So, so here we go. So let's go back to our dashboard. Let's go back to our layout. Let's see what layout we currently have going. And what I'm going to do now is just jump right over here into iRacing. We've got a track set up here. This is what we're going to be racing this week for this week's track and everything in our iRacing series. So yeah, Long Beach Street Circuit is kind of tough. At least so far for me it is. So let's go ahead and start the sim, and let's go in here and see what we got. Now I did get this camera going. It's just a webcam, so I apologize for the steering wheel camera. It's not the best in the world, but I just wanted to show you when I do go to steer that there is a little bit of lag between the overlay and what you see here, and you'll be able to see kind of my shifting. And you know, in the game the shift occurs, and maybe, you know, less than a second later you'll see the overlay change. So it is a little bit of an issue because it does throw you off just a hair. So it's hopefully something that they fix, and maybe it's something with my setup too. So I can't say. I haven't heard anybody else complain about it. So it could be the way I'm setting it up and the way I'm using it. And again, maybe it's the screen resolution being so much higher in 4K that maybe that is having something to do with it, because I am only running an RTX 2070 Super only, but you know, I guess that's out of date now. So so anyway, we are up on our screen here, and let's jump right in, because I just want to show you guys what this looks like, and so you can see everything populate just the way we saw it. And I do have, I kindly have it covered right now, but if I take this camera away for a second, then you can see I do have down underneath the video of myself, you can see I do have some of the overlays from iRacing still on there as well, because I do like the, you know, those kind of splits that occur there and everything. I like to look at that and see that. On the right side, you can see that's the relative stuff there. So I'm in the middle. If there are any other racers ahead or behind me, they would have the 3 ahead of me and 3 behind me, so I can judge who's around me. Like I said, in the center, we have our telemetry. Right above that, we have our display, which has our shift lights, RPMs, miles per hour, shift status. So take a look, pay attention to that screen and the steering wheel, and I'll demonstrate that. So underneath where you see the steering wheel graphic, so as I turn my wheel, you can see that the sim is 1-to-1 right on mine when I'm turning. Oh, let me bring up my my steering wheel display so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see as I turn my steering wheel, it's pretty much 1-to-1. You're seeing maybe a little bit of lag in that video too, so trust me when I say it's pretty right on between the game graphic and my actual steering wheel. When you look at the graphic on the overlay down below, you can see it lags with the game a little bit, which is lagging also with, you know, obviously with my actual steering wheel. Now, when I do shifting, if you take a look at, it's going to be hard to do, but as I shift, you can kind of see, it's hard to tell, but if you look behind that main overlay there, you might be able to see behind there onto the into the game dashboard. It's just a hair off when I switch gears. So it'll be like a half a second or so before the overlay switches to first gear from the time I actually hit first gear. So it's a little jarring. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a little bit more than I expected it to be. All right, so let's just move a little bit here and you can kind of see what the telemetry looks like and things like that. I didn't want to shift. But you can see what the telemetry looks like and just kind of what happens. And you can see the bottom bar there, that's basically the standings. And it doesn't, I'm not going fast here, guys, so just, you know, go easy on me here. I just wanted to take a lap to show you guys what this overlays look like and everything. So it works good. I mean, if you're not too concerned, you know, with it being too like accurate right off, I mean not accurate but quick as far as changing really fast, then I think it's okay. And like I said, this could have a lot to do with you know, with my setup, and yeah, which I don't have any sound on the game right now. I don't have my headphones on, so I'm just gonna go really slow around here and try to shift without it going crazy. But yeah, it kind of works good. So I'm not sure what else I can say. And I hit the wall. Of course I did. Yeah, it works good in this game. This track is gonna suck, but I do have to practice because I got a race to do tomorrow and post that for you guys to see, for the whole world to see. All right, that was a terrible lap. I know it was, and I can't hear it. And I'm looking at all the telemetry stuff and just trying to show you guys what I'm seeing. But yeah, this is it. And you can see there's a gallon, you know, how many gallons of fuel I have left on there. I have the track temperature. We have what lap we're on. We have our car number. We have me and my rating and all that good stuff too. And why that's not showing on there, I don't know. But maybe because we're not an official race or anything. But it's very cool. I like the track map. Seems to work okay. Now I did take the track map off to see if everything's sped up a little bit, and it didn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. So I don't think the track map is causing any lagging or anything like that. So I'm not exactly sure what the lag is, but there is some. So with all that said, once we go back to, we're going to reset our car. We're going to go back into the garage now. And once we hit going back in the garage, you can see all the overlays go away. Now, if I didn't set or the overlay went away, or all the overlays in the layout went away, I guess I should say. So if you have any of those overlays that you don't set to go away when the track, oh wait, I don't think you guys got to see any, well, never mind. Uh, yeah, actually, let me do this one more time because I think I had you guys covered up. Yeah, so you can see kind of, now I didn't really cover anything of mine up with that with the camera of my steering wheel, but there you can see that's what you would see during, when you guys are going to see this race. The playback of the race is basically going to look like that. This camera I just have on there just to show you guys. So I apologize that that was on during my lap, but you kind of know what that looks like anyway. All right, so let's get back out. I wanted to show you guys what you need to do to set some things up in iRacing to get this to work right. And if you go over to graphics, and you have to uncheck full screen and border. So make sure that's unchecked. That's important. It's not going to work right if that isn't checked, and even it doesn't affect your gameplay at all. It doesn't have any adverse effects that I can see on your game whatsoever. It's still going to be full screen like you're used to, but it's just yeah, it's a non-bordered, non-full screen, boom, display for you. So once you do that, it should be good. The other thing that you have to do is this max cars down here. Make sure you set it to 63. I think by default it's set to around 20 or something. So make sure you set it all the way up to 63. That will enable all the telemetry for all cars to come in and allow all those relatives and the standings and all that stuff to display correctly on Racelab. So make sure you do those things. And that's really all you need to worry about in iRacing to set it up to get this to work properly. And like I said, this stuff up here doesn't have any effect whatsoever on the game. Let's see what else. And so that is why you have to set those overlays to the display resolution. Now, I don't know if I pick full screen and border on here, if I can set those overlays to the, like 2560 by 1440, which I have the game graphics set to, and whether that'll display the full screen or not. But when I did try to make the, here, let me go back into that so you can see. If I Alt-Tab, I can go back over here. So, if I have this layout set to, a lower resolution, so let's just say for giggles, I'll set that down to the resolution that my game is currently at. And then if we go back in here, we'll say done, and we'll go back and test. And now you'll see, yeah, it's all jacked up. It's not where it's supposed to be. So it has to be at the full screen resolution that your monitor is set at, that your monitor is capable of. So that's the only real gotcha on this. So if we Alt-Tab back out again and go back in here and set this back to the full resolution of our monitor, and now go back into the game and go back in again, and you can see everything is back normal the way we want it. So yeah, go figure. Maybe they'll be able to adjust it. So I thought that maybe by making it a smaller resolution on the screen and then bringing it all back in, if it would be a little bit quicker and I wouldn't have any of that lag that I was seeing, with the displays trying to catch up to my actual inputs. So doesn't seem to be the case. All seems to work the same regardless of what I do. So we'll see. If I do come up with a solution to that, or if you guys have a solution, please leave it in the comments. But if I come up with one, I'll also let you guys know. Or maybe it's just the way I'm running it. It's just the way it is. But still, even with all that, it's fantastic. I love it. I cannot wait for my first race and see how it all works. Now, yeah, big caveat. After the first race, we'll see how it all works. Hopefully, it all works great, which I'm sure it probably will. So anyway, that's about all I really wanted to show you guys with this right now. Of course, more to come as I learn more, and once we get into maybe ACC and F1 2020 or 2021, we'll relook at this again and show you how I set stuff up for those games as well. But for right now, this is what I'm looking at using for this race this week, and hopefully it gives you a little more information about the race, and it does definitely give me some more information about the race too, and I really like it a lot. So anyway, we'll come right back and wrap this whole thing up. Hi everyone, and thanks again for watching. I hope that you got something out of that and it was really informative for you. If you're looking at getting overlays into iRacing, especially iRacing since that's all I've tried so far, with especially in this video anyway, uh, I, I I really love it. It seems really simple. It's very customizable. You can pretty much do whatever you want. I love the layout feature where you can just kind of set it, and that's what you get every time. I really like that. Now for switching to different cars and things, we may have to redo a couple things, but the beauty of it is we can just tailor layouts for different cars and just save it, and it'll just use it. So that is really awesome. Of course, I have yet to test all that, but from what they say, it should work just fine. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I will leave a link in the description below, so you can go download it, try it. It's free to try. A lot of the, the pro features obviously aren't there unless you subscribe, but it can't hurt to give it a shot. Download it, check it out, see how you like it, and you may be fine with just the free features of it and never have to purchase it, and that's great too. So again, guys, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when future videos just like this one are coming out, and until then, thanks again. Wish me luck at the race this week. This is going to be a tough one, and that's what I said last time too, but I think it's going to be a tough one. Thanks, guys. Take care. It's John at Sim Racing Revolution. See you next time. Keep sim racing. Bye-bye.